Welcome back. In business tonight, South Korea's benchmark index, the Kospi, marking a milestone after it went beyond the 5,000 level for the first time today. It pared back gains to end the session just below that level, but it is still a new record close for the benchmark. The rally largely fueled by the global artificial intelligence boom and strong gains in chip makers, especially from the country's two most valuable stocks, Samsung and S-K Hynix. But evidence of South Korea's slowing domestic demand is piling up. The country's GDP shrinking in the final quarter of last year, the figure dropping 0.3% on quarter, missing estimates and marking its biggest slump in 3 years. For the full year, the economy grew just 1%, and that's its slowest growth in half a decade. The data suggesting that policies aimed at boosting domestic demand, which helped power GDP growth in Q3, may be losing steam. Well, still the Kospi hitting that 5,000 level meets a key goal set by President Lee Jae Myung just about 6 months into his 5-year term. CNA's senior correspondent Lim Yun Suk has details.
South Korean President Lee Jae Myung began touting the idea of Kospi 5,000 during his presidential election campaign last year. In April, he wrote on his Facebook page that if South Korea established a fair and reasonable corporate governance system and market order, its stock market would take a stunning leap forward. At the time, the Kospi was trading below 2,500. Since Mr. Lee won the election and took office in June 2025, the benchmark Kospi index has surged. This month alone, it rose nearly 20%, driven by soaring semiconductor stocks and growing expectations around corporate governance reform. At a news conference this week, marking the start of 2026, President Lee cited 4 main reasons South Korea's stock market had remained undervalued compared to global peers.
첫째, 한반도의 평화 리스크. 저기서 막 총알이 왔다 갔다 하고 막 맨날 전쟁할 듯 하는데 그게 한국 주식 살 거예요. 두 번째로는 저 한국 주식은 못 믿겠더라. 경영 리스크, 지배구조 리스크. 갑자기 떼가지고 분리 상장해가지고 자기 다 먹어보고 알맹이를 쏙 빼가더라.
Third, he pointed to unclear policy direction. And fourth, insufficient punishment for market abuses, factors that he says have discouraged long-term investment. Since taking office, corporate reforms have moved forward. South Korea's Commercial Act has been revised, requiring company directors to consider the interests of all shareholders, not just controlling families or so-called chaebol owners. President Lee's ruling party welcomed the Kospi breaking the 5,000 level on Thursday morning.
조금 전 코스피 지수가 장중 5,000선을 돌파했습니다. 코스피 출범 46년 만의 대기록입니다. 코스피 5,000 달성은 끝이 아닙니다. 만연해 있던 코리아 디스카운트를 해소해 자본시장을 정상화하는 과정입니다.
The Korea discount refers to the relatively low valuation of domestic stocks compared to similar companies overseas. President Lee held a luncheon meeting on Thursday with several ruling party members tasked with helping him deliver on his presidential campaign. Reports say they agreed that efforts to strengthen the fundamental health of the capital market must continue. Lim Yun Suk, CNA, Seoul.